Oh shit. Hey, fight boss, bitch. Hey, yo, check this out. We gonna talk about squares in your motherfucking circle. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh, they gonna go ahead and go that way. But look, check this out. We gonna talk about squares in your motherfucking circle. Now, check this out. Right? Because you know I always like to come on shit from a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional aspect. So let's talk about it in this aspect. You know what I'm saying? Now, look, what is a circle? Now, for the most part, the circle is correlated to the right part of your brain. So it's correlated to your feminine natures. So it's always where you're going to be pulling out your dreams, imagination. You know what I'm saying? Your fantasies. You know what I'm saying? This is how you created your first Merkaba, your moon, your first lightest cloth, your imagination that you got, that your ass then got lost into and shit like that. So for the most part, that was your first light you emitted. You know what I'm saying? When you say your son, as a spirit, you have no gender. So when people say, what's your son? You had a son. Not no son, maleistic character way after the dimension and way after shit have felon version of it. I'm talking about the actuality. When you got a solar plexus, you got a son. You had a son, motherfucker, as a spirit. Now check this out. Now, getting into this motherfucking energy right here, you need to check this out. Your right brain is correlated to that. So even if you don't want to look at it from right brain kind of energy, look at it from an aspect of it's your imagination and everything that taps you into your subconscious nature, right? Now check this out, right? Now, a square is attached to your left brain, so it's attached to the masculine energies. So the square is the outlining, the drawing, the point of reference. You know what I'm saying? The pinpoint of something, to the drawing and the outlining of the right brain. So what do that mean third dimensional wise? That means that this, when you start to analyze and construct your imagination in a way, you start to put squares in your circle. You start to analyze, you actually start to see that the circle represents 360 degrees. So that 360 degrees is some shit that the left hemisphere came up with. It's really just a circle. But in order to understand the circle, we logically came to the conclusion that it's 360 degrees. So based upon your dimension that you are in, y'all are representing it in a way based upon the left brain that y'all have created for yourselves. So for the most part, it just appeared to be that way at the moment, 360 degrees. But it spans out. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? You got 720. You got all kind of spheres out this motherfucker. Just the realm of reality y'all in that the left brain constructed. But that's when you put a square. So we all here to make square circles. But we get lost. We get lost into either the left brain or we get lost into the motherfucker right brain, and then our life play out like that as being chaotic or being unstable. So for the most part, the more you can create a square circle within your mind, aka make sense out of your imagination, so it can be relatable to the world, but also be something new that you have added to the world, then you in the right thing. The moment you start trying to defend something that you're not the intellectual ruler of, then that's when things go too far left brain. And the moment you get too lost into your own imagination to the point that it don't make sense with the outside world around you, that's when you get too right brain. So you got to balance this shit out. So for the most part, when you got squares into your motherfucking circle, you need to understand your spirit is your space. So your motherfucking circle, right, is your space. So whatever in your space is the shit that you manifested. So if you got people, places, or things, aka we're going to talk about people right now, that forces you to always have to pinpoint something that's going on with your imagination. You always have to go around. You can't just be in your true state of being. You have to go around something. You have to construct something around something. You have to formulate something through something. AKA, you have to adjust, AKA justify these people in your motherfucking life just for you to sustain your motherfucking state of being. And even though these motherfuckers may fuck up your state of being every now and then, these are the motherfucking squares that's in your circle. So your circle, which is your space, that space could be vortexing into any kind of energy signature. You know what I'm saying? You could be in a hustler space. You could be in a business space. You could be in your relationship space. Whatever space that you are in, if you have people in that space that always try to point something out within that space, always trying to analyze something in that space, always try to make you overthink something in that space, always make you try to take a shortcut within that space, always make you feel like you're not actually in the space that you are in without them being in that space, then you need to know that you have a square in your circle. And that can play out in a lot of different ways. multitude different ways. So you need to understand that that's what it actually means in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension to have a square in your circle. See, what you need is, if you're going to have a person around you, you need people who resonate with the same things you resonate with. Therefore, they don't have no squares and you don't have no squares. Therefore, both of y'all spaces coming together. Both of y'all circles coming together. So that circle, that circumstance, that situation is just more of it, more space. You know what I'm saying? More experience. So it's more of that space. Y'all resonate with the same thing. So y'all become one. Y'all become more powerful. But the moment is not two motherfucking spaces coming together, two circles coming together, and it's a square and a circle coming together. See, that can only play out in a good way when you are too right brain or you are too left brain. But if you are already balanced, that means you are a person who already got kind of goals. You got a particular goal that you're trying to get. So you got an idea, you got a feeling and emotion about it, and you about to go for it. Whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, the moment somebody come and try to justify it, hey, let me put it this way. Say you're a hustler, right? And you already got an idea on what you're trying to sell. And you got the feeling and the passion to do it, so you're going to go for it. But you got somebody around you that's maybe like a little shaky, maybe talking too much. They talk too much. So it forces you to pinpoint certain things within your circle. You may pinpoint an attribute of, if I do this, this person may snitch or something like that. That's how, then by nature, you're going to be around somebody else to be like, man, I got a motherfucking square in my circle, man. I gotta get these squares out my circle. Because what did they make you do? Third dimensional wise, right? See, I'm trying to get on a level for everybody to understand. What did they make you do? They made you analyze something within your circle, within your circumstance or situation. They made you feel like you had to construct something, rearrange something, realign something, aka third dimensional wise, get that motherfucking square out your circle. So you see what I'm saying? That's what the fuck, that's in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. You need more people who resonate with your circle, your circumstance, your type of scenarios. Therefore, when y'all get together, y'all can create more of that scenario, more of that circumstance and situation, and be that much more powerful. The moment motherfuckers is too many squares in your goddamn circle, everything is going to analyze and construct. And once you analyzing and constructing, by default, it brings things lore. It brings things in dimension, because things is added like light. Anytime you give your thought to something, that's a light you emit. Too much light makes something heavy and dense, because that's how things become materialized in this realm of reality. So that's where it starts metaphysically in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. So anytime you have to give too much idea and too much logic and rationality, I mean too much of it, you have to analyze and pre-plan and construct. If you have to do that too much, you need to know you have a square in your circle. And if you're just doing that within your own self, you got too many squares going on within your own head that you need to get out of. So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? It's good to think and construct about your ideas and imagination, but the moment you get lost and too far into that shit, that's when shit go haywire. So just keep that in mind. And then on a larger scale, having squares in your circle, this plays out on a larger scale. You may be a person who got this similar imagination and this feeling, and or something that you want to do, and you got a bunch of people in your circumstance making you readjustify or reconsider and compromise with something that you don't even genuinely feel like you want to necessarily compromise with. So keep that in mind. Get them squares out your motherfucking circle so you can be free and be light and have your space clear. Because having clear space is like having a clean house that you ain't got to redecorate and throw shit away. AKA people, places, and things. Flight bus, bitch, I love y'all in this motherfucking air.